pants.
Yes,
I see the makeup going on.
I do. It's my best friend's birthday today. Abna Enima Nyantichi Owusu. Today is her birthday.
Nyantichi Owusu.
Yes.
Oh, I know a Nyantichi.
That's by Nyantichi, but the Owusu is by marriage, so it's combined.
Okay, but I know a Nyantichi.
Okay.
She has a lot of brothers?
No. I think it's a wrong number. Yes, but it's her birthday today, so after the morning show, I'm going to be celebrating her in grand style.
You
so
mean
that's
you're going to spend her salary?
She's going to spend my non-existent salary. To the powers that be.
You're
Good
going
morning.
to spend part of her salary, yeah?
Oh yes, kakra.
But the students in Hungary,
yes.
I think they are hungry. What have they been saying? They have a press release out there. Tell me about it.
All right, so bear with me just very quickly. I think I've lost that particular release. Okay,
right,
yeah, we've got it here. Yeah. It's dated. It's also on the screen. So on the 4th of April, 2024, it's a press release that is titled "Burden Faced by Ghanaian Students in Hungary Due to Unpaid Stipends by the Government of Ghana." Now, the Ghanaian students in Hungary are currently facing a harrowing situation that requires urgent attention from the government of Ghana, the media, and the public. Despite a bilateral scholarship agreement between the Ghanaian and Hungarian governments, students have been left in dire straits. For the past 6 months, the Ghanaian government has failed to fulfill its crucial responsibility of providing monthly stipends to about 215 students, comprising undergraduates, masters, and PhDs. This negligence has had profound consequences on students' academic performance and mental well-being. Conversely, the Hungarian government has commendably fulfilled all its obligations stipulated in the scholarship agreement. However, the constant rise in living costs in Hungary exacerbates the hardships faced by students. Repeated appeals manifested through letters have been made to all stakeholders in Ghana, but sadly no response has been received, plunging these promising young individuals into desperation and disillusionment. The timely disbursement of stipends and allocation of book allowances at the start of the academic year are essential to restoring hope, enabling academic success, and fulfilling the dreams of these bright Ghanaian students. We therefore would like to use this medium to call on the government of Ghana, the Ministry of Finance, and the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat to expedite their processes for paying the stipends. And this is issued by the National Executive Committee of GASH, G-A-S-H.
And we've had a gentleman on the phone line, on Zoom rather, I should say, joining us right now. Good morning, sir, and thank you very much indeed for your time. How are we? Good morning, Abdul. How are we?
Good morning. We are doing well. We are doing very well.
Assalam.
We are doing very well here in Hungary.
Assalam to you.
Alaikum salam.
Great. Benjamin, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Now,
I hope you're also doing well.
Well, I'm greater than Accra. Tell me, what exactly is your situation as we speak? I know that we've spoken before about the stringent ways in which people under scholarship or on scholarship have had to be, starved literally. But what is your peculiar situation? Abdullah, start with you.
Okay, good morning. And let me say we are very grateful for the opportunity, and we are so grateful that you have responded to our call, because you directly addressed this release to the media, and we are very grateful on behalf of all the Ghanaian students here in Hungary. The situation here is a very disturbing situation, because before we left Ghana, we were purposely made to understand that we are here to only study. And to study, it basically means that at the end of each semester, we have a minimum GPA we are supposed to attain. And also, wherever you fall short with your academics or there's any underperformance, you automatically lose your scholarship. So we are in a very tight situation where, even though we may have the options to go and work, but here like the case where we find ourselves in a non-English speaking country. So having any productive work to do is very difficult. So students are forced to take up some menial jobs like the cleaning, the washing, working in the restaurants to be able to raise some money to cater for themselves. And they're very...
Hello, Abdul. Unfortunately, the internet is playing tricks on us. Let's welcome Richard James. He's the Director of International Relations Scholarship Secretariat. Richard, good morning. Thank you very much for your time.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I am greater than Accra. Now, the students in Hungary and on scholarship are asking me to ask you why you're making them hungry.
Thank you, and my greetings to all your cherished listeners. From the Register of Scholarship, Dr. Kingsley Ajaman, to the security man at the Secretariat, we really empathize or sympathize with the plight of our students in Hungary, our students in Serbia, our students in Spain, our students in Germany, our students in UK, United States, Algeria, Morocco, all across the world for the current predicament that they find themselves in. As Scholarship Secretariat, we are a conduit, and we rely on the government or on the Ministry of Finance to release funds to us for us to be able to make such payments and stipends and tuition for students. But, Evan, Hughes, over the years, especially with Hungary, you know, this agreement with Hungary, it's always good to get the people or your listeners the background story of how the Scholarship Secretariat operates. So the Hungarian in particular, the Hungarian Stipendum Scholarship was signed under former President John Mahama in 2016. So the first batch that was sent, students that was sent to Hungary was in August 2016. And at the time, they went without any support from Ghana. It's on record. There was nothing. The students bought their own. I'll give you the details of the agreement.
Right.
The students had to buy their own flight, had to find their own pocket money to go to Hungary to pursue their BSc, the MSc, and PhD. It was not until later part of 2017 when Dr. Kingsley Ajaman took over as a scholarship secretariat and decided that we will, from that time, we will be giving supplementary allowances to the students. And therefore, if we carry out the interviews, the aptitude tests, and select the students to the Hungarian government, they also will do their interviews and do their aptitude tests to make sure that they select the right candidates for the school. Now, in the agreement, for every PhD student, for the first 2 years, the Hungarian government is giving the students 140 forints, and that currently is $390. That is what they give for PhD students for their stipend for every month for first 2 years. The last 2 years, the Hungarian government is giving each student $500, and that is 180 forints. There's also the research support. They have some support for research conferences, but that is restricted to conferences within Hungary. For master's students, they are giving them 43,000 forints. That equates to $120 every month, and also the undergraduates. They have entitlement for accommodation, that is 40,000 forints for the students. So what the GSS we do is only supplementary, which was instituted by the current Register of Scholarship.
Okay, and
we've been giving them for undergraduates $250 every month, and for the postgraduates, we are giving them $400 every month. Again, we are also paying for their tickets to and fro. And these policies were all championed by the current administration. We buy them tickets to go, we buy them tickets to come back. Also, we also give them $360 for their book allowances annually.
So really, now, what is causing the delay? Because that's the fundamental question.
Absolutely, but we need to get the understanding before we move to the.
I get. I mean, sincerely, all of what you're explaining, I'm very much aware. That's why I didn't ask you that. But I'm saying that presently they are in a faraway land. They have a certain understanding with government that they are supposed to go to school, and then they will be supported in a certain way. They take on jobs to support themselves and also to be able to fly the flag of Ghana high by bringing him in good academic laurels. Presently, they say for some time now, their stipends have not come. And I'm asking you, why has that delayed?
Yes, and that is why I explained that the Secretariat is a conduit. We are waiting on the Ministry of Finance. As soon as we have been engaging the Ministry of Finance for a while now. Under normal circumstances, our first quarter disbursement should have been in our bank account by now. The registrar has been probing the ministry. We believe that by the end of this month, we should be able to get the clearance for our first quarter tranche for us to be making payments.
So we should be holding the finance ministry accountable for the delays. Is that what I hear you say?
Absolutely, because for us, if we haven't received finance from the ministry, we are virtually certain that because there's nothing that we can do. And also, one aspect is that the financial year normally is different from the academic year. And so, yes, when the students say we haven't paid for them for 6 months, historically, we are always paying stipends 4 months in arrears because their academic year starts in September. Our financial year starts in January. So the first quarter will start from January to April. So between January to April, when you are given disbursement from the Ministry of Finance, that is when you are able to send the money. But between 2018, 2019, 2020, when the economy was in good shape, students can attest that we were even paying stipends in advance. And that is why I started by saying we sympathize with the students. But clearly, we are then owing 2 months. If we are going to the historical way of paying stipends, we are assuring them that per the conversation the registrar has had with the Ministry of Finance,
right.
we can assure them that by end of April, we should be able to sort them out with respect to their stipend.
Mr. Jemfi, how do you respond to the concerns of the student, for example, that a certain Dr. Dennis Addo, who is the CEO, Giftio Aremensa, who is Deputy Director at the NSS, Michael Oforiatta, who is a relative of Finance Minister Ken Oforiatta. You're also getting a tall list of other individuals who are studying. For example, David Asantia Pietu's daughter, getting scholarships. Okay, Julieta Santi, people whose parents can fend for them. Freddie Blaze, children and all of that, who can fend for them, are benefiting from scholarships, and they have been left out in the cold, okay, without the needed support from the Republic. They are asking that question. What do you say to that?
I think these connections are really not quite there. But I understand the questions that you are asking.
No, the students are raising. The students are raising these questions.
These happened in 2018 and 2019. And if you are connecting what the students are saying to that, then we are just, But what I'm saying is that the registrar held an interview, granted an interview with Joy Online. I think it's on their website. And the question is that, if not for mischief, from where I sit as a director, if not for mischief, you come to the Secretariat to request for the number of awards given to, applicants. We give you over 3,000 beneficiaries. You take out about 10 who are politically exposed, and to make a meal out of it. That's a different situation. But if we really want to get into this, the registrar has asked for years that there should be an act that will guide the award of scholarships. as I speak to you now, from 1960, since the Secretariat was set up, there hasn't been an act that would tell you that this particular person has been banned from getting scholarship. In any case, from 1960 up to 2017, the Secretariat will sit in Accra for people who travel all over across Ghana to come and pretend that or convince the registrar that they are needy. The word needy, how do you assess that this particular person is needy?
Are you suggesting? Sorry,
20,000 cedis a month.
Sorry, Mr. Jamfi. Sorry, Mr. Jamfi. Are you suggesting to me that the son of the daughter of the former chairman of the MPP, former GNPC boss, former deputy speaker of parliament, former MP for Elembele, businessman Freddie Blay, has daughters who are needy and brilliant at the same time? That of IGP Apietu, they have children who are needy and brilliant at the same time. Gift Mensa, who owns a football club, who's the NSS deputy director, runs businesses.
He applied. He wasn't owning a football club.
It was in the same year. It was in the same year. If you check Barry's Ladies, it was in the same year acquired from Halifax, and Halifax is my friend. So the question in the public domain is that there are people who genuinely, like Abdul Manaf and the other gentleman on Zoom right now listening to you, who are in Hungary, who are looking for their $250 a month, who are not getting it, and then they hear this, even though it might have happened earlier.
$250, which was not part of the contract. This has been instituted by this current Dr. Kingsley Agyeman.
Okay.
So let's not make it seem as if it is part of the contract. He came and he instituted that. It is not part of the contract.
So, Mr.
It is not obligated for the Scholarship Secretariat to do that. When he came, he looked at the contract because, you see, the Ministry of Education signed the agreement with the Hungarian government. The Scholarship Secretariat is not under the Ministry of Education. So we need to get that clear. Again, I've enumerated that there is no act which will say that public sector workers or businessmen are excluded from scholarship.
So
that is the discourse that we need to have.
I want to finish my question.
When you sit at the office, you wouldn't know that this particular person is the daughter of this, is the father of this.
Are we suggesting that? And I'll come back to my question that I didn't finish asking before you came in. But are we suggesting that no background check is done when somebody comes to say, I'm applying for a scholarship because I'm brilliant but needy, I want to go out there to go and learn? Do we do no background checks?
Yes. So from 1960, I was explaining and you also jumping. From 1960 up to 2017, you will come to Accra with your documents, with your admission letter, and come and request that you need scholarship. Because we wanted to be fair, this current registrar, Dr. Kingsley Agyeman, decided that for us to be fair, for the awards to be fair, we will go to the district to go and interview and assess the applicant. And that is how come he implemented the decentralization of awards. Now, this is the team that conducts the interviews. The chief of that particular district, one will send a rep. The MP of that area, irrespective of MPP, NDC, is also a member. Normally, they send a rep. The educational directorate in that district will send a rep. The Ghana Education, and then a rep from the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. These people will go to the district to interview the students. And that team, because you have a representative from the chief, a rep from the MP, a rep from the Directorate of Education and the Scholarship Secretariat, you are able to get first-hand information about the needs of this particular student who is brilliant and requires the scholarship. Dr. Kingsley Agyeman started that. So
So did you interview Gift Mensah, Freddie Blaze's daughter, David Asantia P2, former IGP's daughter, Dr. Dennis Ados? Did you interview them to ascertain whether they were brilliant but needy?
For every award that is given, especially on the foreign awards, one must have passed through. Of course, you need to go get your admission, and then you go through an interview, whether face-to-face or via digitalized Zoom or phone calls. So I would assume that all our scholarship holders, one way or the other, went through interviews.
And you confirm that these people, the daughters and sons of these people, are brilliant and needy?
So the brilliant and needy act that the Ghanaian and journalists continue to speak it or pronounce it to us, it is limited to Get Fund Award. We need to have an open discussion about this. That is why the registrar has been constantly bashing on that since years, that we should have an act that will guide the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat as to who is qualified for the award. As we speak now, you are quoting Get Fund, which refers to the local scholarship that Get Fund should use to award scholarships. The brilliant and needy phrase does not resonate with the Scholarship Secretariat Award.
My brother Jemfi, are we suggesting then that until the act comes, we are unable to look and say, look, this person earns more than 30,000 cedis a month, has perks of fuel, vehicle, security, houseboy, garden boy, etc., and they have all of this at their disposal as compared to somebody in, Asim Mesomago, who is yet to see a laptop computer but has been able to get, say, 10 ones in their BEC. Will we compare the son of that person to the son of this person who is well exposed politically, has friends who they can make calls to? Until the act comes, you say that there's nothing we can do about it, so that Abdul Manaf in Hungary...
that this is very in the scope of affairs. This is with all humility, is the minimum. That is why I'm saying that if the journalist wants us to have a national debate and discourse about this, then it is in the right direction. For us at the Scholarship Secretariat, we support that. But for you to have been given over 3,000 awards, and for you to cherry pick about 10 of them to make it a national discourse, to paint a picture that the Secretariat is only awarding to the politicians and influencers, then we are actually deviating for the discussions that we should have. About 3,000...
Mr. Jemfi, but that is news. If you look through a tall list and you find that politically exposed persons who, in your opinion, should be able to pay for their own staff who are acquiring properties and who are acquiring teams, etc., can pay for their education, are getting scholarship that other brilliant but needy students must get, or people who cannot necessarily afford their education, or who can, not be able to have the wherewithal to do so, are getting, then that is news for us. That's what we're taught in journalism school. Now, what is...
Absolutely.
Even if it's just one person, even if it's one person, that's news.
Yes, that is why we should elevate that discussion to policy and legislation. Because how do you assess need? How is the Secretariat going to know that this particular person has a houseboy, has a garden boy? How is that person?
But they are public servants. We know what they get. It's there. They are public servants. Thanks to the RTI, we know what they get. I can write tomorrow and know what you, Mr. Jemfi, get.
The discussions to us that will ban public sectors from gaining scholarship. I think that is where the journalists and the Ghanaians...
But Mr. Jemfi, putting this on journalists, really, and Abdul, I want to apologize to you and your colleague, but putting this on journalists is quite unfair. You have gone in there, you say you have seen issues, you have actually put in a reform to give $250 per month, which is not part of the contract. You are taking initiative. Since you have been there and you extol your boss, Has your board put together a proposal for the drafting committee in Parliament to even look at it to say this is what proposal we have? Because now we have private members' bill. Has your boss thought about it anyway, rather than blaming journalists?
For every year before our budget is approved, we go to the finance committee in Parliament. All these questions have been coming up year after year after year. The Scholarship Secretariat has been consistent in putting this and addressing and asking these questions that because some of the MPs maybe will go, because they were part of the interview committee, they will be saying that, oh, I sent maybe 100 names, but 40 were awarded the scholarship. And then how come 50 did not get? This is the whole district in Ghana, for example. And we will have to retrace that, yes, per the budget given to us, you sent 100, but we can give 40. Then they will ask why. The why is the reason why this discussion should be elevated. So that you will say that this candidate, although we're giving him or her an award, his father is getting 20,000 a month. Although the fee that they are supposed to pay is 50,000 cedis. 20,000, the father is receiving 20,000 a month. Per your decision, you will say perhaps he can afford it. But we don't know the financial commitment of the parent. So does it make the person a needy?
But Mr. Jemfi, to be fair to you and to myself and our listeners and our viewers on Facebook, you have made this point over and over again. The question I asked is, you are asking for journalists to have a conversation about the policy direction. And I'm saying that since you've been there, including taking an initiative to add a $250 per month what is stipend, which is not part of the contract. Have you also, you have a legal department, I'm sure you pay lawyers to work at your office. Have they thought through a policy that they can make as part of their proposal when they appear before Parliament to say, this is what we think. Can you please let the drafting committee or the drafters in Parliament start working on an act so that this becomes a thing of the past? Have you done anything like that?
For us as Secretariat, I don't think we are. It's for policy makers from the ministry and legislators. You are aware of that. And so if we are asking these questions and the registrar has been crying out, I think it is only fair for those who are being paid to implement policies to initiate that conversation. It is not it's not part of the I don't know how to put it, the responsibilities of the CEO of any of the institution to come up with policies. People are being paid to initiate policies.
I'm talking about a policy proposal, not a policy per se, a policy proposal.
But the registrar have been calling for this policy from time to time. You can check all his interviews across since he became registrar, that there should be a scholarship award act.
I see. Let me go to my gentleman and quickly tell them. So, Manaf, I understand now that in the next 6 months or as soon as possible, Jima, confirm for me, Jemfi, sorry.
End of April.
End of April, you're going to get your monies. How does that sound to you? Any of you two gentlemen can take that up, please.
Sorry, please, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. This message is, even though it's refreshing, at least we've heard from them, because this was something we were expecting to have heard from them from the initial stages, but unfortunately, they couldn't respond to us. But Johnny, please allow me to express my dissatisfaction with the submission of my own director.
Okay.
Because it's very sad to have heard him making mention that we receive monies here. Yes, indeed, we receive monies from the government, and we have never denied that fact in all of our interviews. But the crack of the issue is that, you see, Johnny, every year the government of Ghana awards 100 people to come and study here in Hungary. So the slot, it varies. Sometimes we can have 60 masters, sometimes 20 masters and 60 undergraduates, and the rest is for PhD slot. But this is the crack of the issue. You see, when we are here and we are not getting the financial means and the support, we are forced to extend our studies, because as I speak to you now, next month, some of the students will start writing and will start preparing for their exams. So due to the pressure on us, especially those who are not in the school's facility, who have to work extra hard to gain money to be able to support their activities here, it affects the academics tremendously. So they are forced to extend their studies. So this is where the problem is. So when we extend our studies, it affects the number of slots of those who are coming the subsequent academic year. So, I mean, we are here. It is a privilege. We accept. We are here to study, but it does not mean we should misuse the opportunity. Because as I speak to you, last year we were supposed to have 100 students to come and study this program, but only 72 were able to come to Hungary. So that means we lost 28 slots because students who were already here had no option than to extend their studies. So in a way, there's effect on the side of the students, also an effect on the government as a whole. So we don't want it to look as if we are here and we are abusing the challenge. And let me just chip in here. My secretary, I don't know where he's currently. He's even at the workplace right now, but he has squeezed himself to come and join this Zoom meeting. And I know very well that yesterday we spoke. He told me he went to work. He arrived this morning at 2 a.m. and by 6 a.m. he has to go to work because by the 10th of April we need to raise money to be able to pay for his accommodation. So the disheartening situation is that, like I indicated, the numbers are huge. We are 215, and majority of these people are undergraduates. Okay. These undergraduates are just kids between the ages of 17, 18, 19 years. Mm-hmm. And these are people who just left secondary education, and right from secondary school, they are in the university. And they don't have any tertiary experience. They don't have any knowledge about how to even firstly integrate very well in the community, and left alone to adapt in the country. Because since those who arrived 2023 September to date, they have not received any money from the government. At least the continuous students are not ungrateful. At least they appreciate what the government has done so far. But those who arrived last year, September, and you know, when you arrive here, it's not urgent that you can, or it's not immediate for you to work within a short while.
Right.
It must take 3 to 4 months. Mm-hmm. So the question is, transiting even from Ghana to this place, you know the kind of expenses you are even going to make. And when you come, you see, in the contract, yes, I agree. It is stated clearly on the side of the Hungarian government that they provide you accommodation. But I can tell you boldly that majority of these students do not have facilities or do not have accommodations on campus. So most of them even far away from Ghana, even before they got their visas from Ghana, they have to rent far away from Ghana. And someone who's in Ghana, you know, if you're in Ghana, raising an amount of $300 in Ghana is not a small amount of money. These are people who have raised huge sums of money, arrived here to gain to pay for their accommodation, and now you've left them to the fate. And I feel it is just unfair. I mean, we are grateful for the government support, at least. And one important
quickly, so I can bring Ben in. We haven't heard his voice all morning.
I wanted to chip in.
I'll bring you in, Jeffy. I'll bring you in a bit. Sorry, forgive me. We'll be wrapping up in a bit. Manaf, wrap up for me.
So you see, Johnny. You see, another thing is that yes, per what we know, previously there was no anything like award letters and all that. But this is the situation whereby, for the first time, let's admit for the first time, you have given us award letters, and in the award letter you categorically stated that withdrawal of scholarship. One of the key criteria for one losing his or her scholarship is unsatisfactory academic performance. So it then means that anyone who falls short when it comes to academic automatically loses their scholarship.
Right.
And here, when you lose the scholarship, there's no mercy for the cripple. The immigration will just evacuate you.
I see.
You don't have.
Let's hear from Ben as well. Ben, what do you have to add? You are the secretary of the Association of Students out there who are currently in a state of limbo. You're desperate. You want your money to support you in terms of accommodation, feeding, etc. What do you say to us as General Secretary?
All right, Johnny, thank you very much. Just like my president has already said, one of the most serious issues is that most of our students are not in the capital, where at least you can have these menial jobs to do. Most of them are in distant areas, and they would have to take 3 hours in, 3 hours out. That is 6 hours to even come to the capital to come and find some of these menial jobs. And myself and the president, we have gone to some of these distant places to sign bonds for students with their landlords and their landladies, just to accommodate them for a while until these stipends are paid. And we have some of the students who go to the extent of asking for favors from friends in order to survive. And so the situation here is very, very bad. And just like my president was saying, we appreciate the government for what they have done previously, but currently our plea is that they have to come to our aid, else they might not hear good news from the students.
And what do you mean when you say they wouldn't hear good news? What exactly does it mean?
So just like I was saying, people would have to go to the extent of sometimes to even lose the scholarship, just like the president was saying, lose the scholarship because they are not able to meet the requirements,
academic requirements,
for the
right?
semester. Exactly.
I see.
So we are just requesting for the government to come to our aid.
Mr. Jemfi, what do you say, closing in 30 seconds so we can wrap up this conversation?
I am saying that I support that for us, we don't want to starve students. Myself, I am still paying my student finance. I was not one of the lucky people to get scholarship. But the point is that we are praying that the Ministry of Finance will come through for us. And we are sharing students across the globe. For students in America and UK and Algeria, they since they went in September, they've not received any stipend. But through their stipends, that is what they have to use to get accommodation and all that. For our students on stipendum for Hungary, per the contract that the Ministry of Education signed with the government of Hungary, it clearly stipulates that the Hungarian government is going to take care of the accommodation. And if that is not happening, I think that the students, as they've done, brought scholarship secretariat to 3FM, they should write to the ministry to inform them that this is happening so that they can take steps.
But what would you do about it? Would you write as well? Will you intervene?
I mean, the contract is between Ministry of Education and the Hungarian government. As I said, we came in just to support, and this was instituted by the Dr. Kinsley. So we do not come in the contract.
Right. But as it speaks, as it stands now, Jemfi, nobody is mentioning the Ministry of Education. Nobody is mentioning the government of Ghana. They are just mentioning you and you.
Yeah, yes, and that is what I want Ghanaians to know. And I want the students to know that we are not mandated to do that. It is this is instituted by the current government.
Can you help?
We are going to do that.
Can you help?
We are going to be paying their stipends as promised by end of April. But I think that they should write a letter to the Ministry of Education and we will follow up.
Thank you very much indeed for your time this morning. We're speaking to the gentleman in charge of the International Relations Scholarship Secretariat, Richard Jemfi, on phone and also on Skype. We've been speaking to two gentlemen who presently are in a state of limbo. Zoom, Abdul Manaf Rabiu is the president, Ghana Students Association in Hungary, and Benjamin Ankuma Apia, General Secretary, Ghana Students Association in Hungary. Gentlemen, I wish you all the best. I hope you stay alive and don't stay hungry forever. I wish you, even though you live in Hungary, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much indeed. They live in Hungary.